Hello, welcome Aries. So this reading is going to explore the overall energies shaping your life in 2026. So rather than focusing on specific dates or predictions, we are going to look at the themes activating each area of your life through the 12 astrological houses. This is a reading about life direction and the conscious action as well, how to best move through the year ahead, what is being initiated, what is being reshaped, healed. So take what resonates. It's still a YouTube reading, so leave what doesn't resonate behind, and hopefully you will enjoy this. And we are going to start with a oracle card, which is going to be our overall theme card that will help us and guide us throughout the tarot reading. And once we took the oracle card, we are going to also get tarot cards for each of the 12 houses. So let's start. An oracle card for Aries in 2026. The Oracle of Chaldea, I'm not 100% sure, but we will check it. Number 37. And now let's start with the first house, which is the Aries house. Which way? The Three of Swords. Second house. The Page of Swords. Third house. We have the Chariot reversed. Fourth house. The Five of Swords reversed. Fifth house. This jumped out. We have the King of Swords, and we also have the Three of Pentacles. Sixth house. There are a lot of cards. I will take these two. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Three, six, seven. Seventh house for Aries. Seventh house. We have the Knight of Swords reversed and the Star. So like this. Eighth house for Aries. The Seven of Wands reversed. Ninth house. Ninth house. Three cards. We have the Tower reversed, the Four of Wands, and the Knight of Wands reversed. 10th house for Aries. 10th house. We've got the Two of Cups. 11th house. The Empress reversed. And the 12th house. The Queen of Swords. Okay, so even before we enter into the theme of each house, this oracle speaks about healing without force, right? If you naturally are someone who wants and who likes to push forward, this message is really crucial, which is timing matters more than speed in 2026. So everything, including your healing, is happening gradually and organically, right? Not through pressure. And some things, they will be released through the body before the mind understands them, and other times the mind must wait while the body integrates. So this oracle is very much about patience as mastery of the process, not as stagnation, let's say. So yes, for you, 2026, it's all about respecting the timing that each process takes and avoiding forcing things to happen when you think they should happen, basically. So starting with the first house, where we have the Three of Swords, this house speaks about self-image, presence, how you initiate your life, how you see yourself, right? Your identity, yourself. And in this we have a Three of Swords, which is a card of emotional pain, of truth and clarity through heartbreak, of mental clarity that is born from loss, basically. So it seems that your sense of self in 2026 is being shaped by experiences that have hurt you, but that have also sharpened your awareness. I think that in 2026 you may no longer identify as the fearless initiator, but more as someone who has felt things deeply, who has been through that pain and has survived it, right? And it's about understanding how healing begins when your identity is allowed to be real, and it's allowed to be expressed as well. Then we move on to the second house, which is a house that speaks about self-worth and money and values and material stability. And here we have the Page of Swords, which is all about learning, curiosity, mental reframing. It shows that your self-worth is under reconstruction, and this is very much connected to the first house, right? It's as if now you have the clarity to rebuild the blocks of your identity. Perhaps you are questioning old beliefs around money, values, about your independence, right? Perhaps you are learning new financial strategies, or you are mentally redefining what being secure truly means to you, and integrating that into your identity as well, right? It shows that you are going through these growing pains, through this learning phase, and that your self-worth, that your value is being rebuilt through understanding and not through force, basically. Then we have the third house, and the third house we have the Chariot reversed, in a house that speaks about thoughts, speech, mental abilities, your daily thinking, communication. And the Chariot reverse is about loss of direction, inner conflict, misalignment, of your own will, basically. It can also be about forced momentum, when we try to push through even if things are not aligned. And in this house, it seems like the mind already wants movement and to rush through the uncomfortable part, but clarity hasn't fully arrived yet. Perhaps you might feel mentally frustrated or impatient, trying to push decisions forward before alignment is present. And that's one of the messages from the oracle, which is take your time, respect the timing of things, understand that it will come gradually at the best possible moment for you. Here the lesson is more about mental surrender. So the fact that clarity comes when you soften control, basically, and how slowing your mind down and respecting the fact that if it's not the moment, it's not the right moment. It will allow your intuition to catch up. It will allow clarity to come through, which then will start the momentum that will allow you to move forward much faster than you normally would otherwise. And then we have the fourth house, and this is about home and your roots and your emotional safety. It's about family patterns, your inner child. And here you have a Five of Swords reversed, which is a great card, which is ending conflict, releasing ego battles, choosing peace. Again, this can be a consequence of how you rewire yourself, how you rebuild yourself. But it shows that as a consequence, deep emotional healing is taking place, and that it's no longer about winning against the thinking patterns that are deeply rooted in your family. Is no longer about keeping is no longer about keeping the fight alive, right? It's really about the willingness to release resentment and to reclaim this emotional safety. It's about creating the emotional ground, the emotional foundations that are needed for all the growth to flourish, basically. It's about creating that within yourself so that then it can ripple out into the other areas of your life. For example, here on the fifth house, we have a house which is about creativity, joy, romance, self-expression, basically creative output. And we have a Three of Pentacles and a King of Swords. So these are cards that speak about mental mastery, discernment, collaboration, conscious creation. So it's as if joy becomes intentional for you. It's as if you are learning how to express your creativity and your desires with clarity and purpose, and not with impulsivity. When it comes to romantic choices or choices concerning creative projects, these are now guided by discernment. It's about creating something meaningful rather than a fleeting excitement, basically. For example, if we read your fifth house, in connection to your 11th house, where you have the Empress reversed, this can be shown as creating with intention, meaning you are stepping back from spaces, from circles that consume your energy, and instead you are using your discernment to understand when you want to be included and when you don't want to, which projects are worth your implication, your commitment, which social circles are important enough for you to dedicate your energy to them, which career path, right? It's like all about this intention and this clarity that is coming through to you in 2026. And we then move on to the 6th house, where we have a 9 of Pentacles reversed and the Wheel of Fortune also reversed. And the 6th house, it's a house all about health, work, daily life, your routines, your body, also energy management. And these cards, they touch themes such as burnout or resistance to cycles or delays or dependency. So it shows that in 2026, like, old routines, they no longer support you. You have to recalibrate this. Perhaps you are feeling out of rhythm with your work or health, and this is showing the importance of taking a break, pausing, breathing, and recalibrating, right? It's again the message of the oracle, which is healing can't be rushed, and the body is actually setting the pace now, and you have to listen to it, because if in the morning you have no energy to get up, then in the morning you have no energy to get up, even if your mind is rushing through 1,000 different subjects. So in 2026, it's about also finding the good routines that will help sustaining your energy and will help you improve your health, right? Which then is translated in your productivity at work and how well you handle your daily life and your routines, right? How well you manage your stress, how well you manage your emotions, and all of this starts also in the body, like with a good night of sleep, with the way we decide to nourish ourselves. All of these basic things that sometimes we don't respect have a huge impact on us, and this is going to be one of the key themes for 2026, basically. Then we have the 7th house, which is connected to one-on-one relationships, commitments, contracts, and here we have the Star and the Knight of Swords reversed, and these are topics of healing, hope, but also miscommunication, mental impulsivity, and it shows that relationships will offer you genuine healing, because you will be able to use this discernment, this skill that you have, this clarity of thought, to choose the kind of relationship that will allow you to flourish, but only if you communicate slowly and clearly, basically. You can't be impulsive in the way you think, you say things. You have to think and take 3 seconds of silence, and then you can speak. It's about learning that hope thrives in patience, not in arguments, and sometimes when we don't have the time to think about what we are saying and we just want to rush through it, we create more harm than we would wish to, basically. So listening becomes as important as speaking. Moving on to the 8th house, where we have the 7 of Wands reversed. So this house is about shared resources, emotional intimacy, sexual intimacy, power dynamics, um, trauma. It does encompass a lot of different subjects, and this card is very much about lowered defenses, being tired from fighting, surrender, letting go of survival mode. So this house is showing a major shift in how you'll relate to power and to vulnerability, and it feels that this shift might be rippling off of the first house of whatever you went through that had this impact on you. And the Seven of Wands, it indicates that, reversed of course, it indicates um, that you are tired of defending old wounds, basically old positions, old survival strategies. Basically, you are ready to let that go. It's no longer worth it. Like, it's more of an ego affair than anything else. So you've reached this point where you are exhausted and you just wanna let go of it. So in practical terms, this can be shown as um, letting go of emotional armor in intimacy, releasing the need to prove your strength or your position when it comes to shared situations. It can be about softening around financial dependency or emotional dependency, right? It's as if you are learning that you can allow transformation without losing yourself, basically, right? It's as if the armor that was in a way shielding you from this pain is now being laid down, right? Also here in connection with the star in the seventh house, which is intimacy healing, because the defenses are falling, right? So it improves your connection, your intimate connections with others as well. Yeah, I think this is your eighth house. Also here with the Queen on the 12th house. It's how surrender leads to wisdom and not to weakness as well, basically. And then we have the ninth house, where we have the Tower reversed, the Knight of Wands reversed, and the Four of Wands. And the ninth house, it's all about belief systems, meaning of life, spiritual direction, philosophy, expansion, right? Truth. And the cards are more about delayed awakening, internal restructuring, loss of impulsive faith or blind enthusiasm, stabilization, grounded truth, right? Success, celebration. So it feels like in 2026 you are undergoing this quiet spiritual realignment, rather than a dramatic change of course, a dramatic belief collapse. The Tower reverse shows more of a internal restructuring of meaning, let's say, as if old beliefs are no longer convincing you, right? And the new ones are being integrated slowly. It's as if you are no longer chasing this spiritual excitement, right? This higher knowledge just out of pure curiosity. It's like you are no longer running wildly after these big answers, and instead meaning is becoming embodied, lived, stable. And this is symbolized by the Four of Wands, right? Which it's sometimes associated as well to the 1111 portal, with the two wands on each side. And it's as if you are naturally coming into this awakening, rather than being abruptly thrown out of the tower, let's say. It's it's a it's a change from belief as excitement to belief as solid foundation, basically. And if we connect this to the third house, it's in a way how the mind will have to slow down before belief can stabilize. It's again how timing matters more than forcing and more than the revelation, right? And if we connect it already to the 11th house, where you have the Two of Cups, it's how belief now supports purposeful alignment in the world. Because your 11th house, which is about career and calling and your life direction and your public life and your contribution as well. This house has a Two of Cups, which is alignment, mutual respect, the soul contract, the cooperation aspect of it. So this foundation that now is solidifying, it's going to work as the ground that will allow you to that will allow your purpose to emerge through this alignment with people, with values, with your inner truth, right? And this will show in your lives in diverse aspects. Of course, you have to take what resonates, but everything from career partnerships to work that feels emotionally and ethically aligned. It's about choosing meaning over ego-based success, and all of that comes from this healing that was done in its own time, that was respected, that was cared for, that was listened to, basically, that was allowed to be the guide that took us through all of these situations throughout the year, right? It is this purpose that emerges through alignment is coming as well from the fact that now you have this solid foundation, which is a theme that we saw in different houses, right? It's like this growing from the pain, this clarity that we get, this understanding that our body needs to rest and sometimes our mind needs to rest, and we have to balance both, right? And it is accepting this clarity that is coming, this light that is enveloping you in 2026. And we can see as well here a connection between this 10th house and the 6th house, in how work must align with your health and with your energy levels in order to flow, right? And so that you don't get tired and burned out. And so that you don't resist change, but instead you trust the flow and the course of your life, because you know that you are in alignment. So whatever is coming for your own benefit. Also, in connection to your partnerships of the seventh house, it shows how your partnerships will mirror your purpose as well, right? We then have the Empress reversed on the 11th house, and the 11th house, it's about community, friendships, future visions, social networks, collective goals, and the Empress reversed. This is about emotional depletion, or reclaiming your nourishment, right? Or overgiving. And that's why before I connected to the sixth house, which is you are now understanding which circles, which communities drain you, which friendships drain you, and which ones actually empower you, right? Which ones actually bring you forward. And you are using this clarity of the King of Swords, this discernment, to actually start making your choices of where do you want to give your energy, right? It's like it's a reassessment of where energy is going, socially speaking. Otherwise, you might get this burnout from giving too much to groups or to causes that don't really reciprocate. And by reciprocate, I mean they don't fill your cup in return. So this year you are learning that not all causes, not all community, not all friendships mean nourishing, are nourishing to you. That sometimes withdrawal can be self-care. And that fertility returns once your energy is reclaimed as well, right? This is not about a loss of friendships or of circle groups or of certain networks, but it is about refinement and understanding which ones you actually want to keep, right? Because this creativity needs to be protected, right? The energy source has to be protected in order for you to keep on being creative. Also, with the 10th house, fewer and truer allies, but they are aligned with you. They will support your purpose, but sometimes you are surrounded by so many people, but they don't actually support your purpose. And then we move to our last house, which is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, she speaks about truth and discernment and mental clarity and emotional sovereignty, right? And all of this in the 12th house, which is a house of healing, subconscious patterns, spiritual maturity, karma. And so this is quite a powerful closing because you are ending the year with clarity. It shows wisdom gained through experience, through reflection, through emotional honesty, right? This is not about emotional detachment, but clean perspective, clean perception. It's old karmic loops dissolving because you can finally see clear, because you have put in the work through all these steps, throughout all these different houses to get to this point of the Queen of Swords. You can see how she can admire the butterfly, which is beautiful, but she keeps her sword up because it's a sign of her protection, it's a sign of her clarity. So it's finding the balance between both, right? This shows, in connection to the first house, identity that is healed through truth, right? In connection to your 8th house as well, vulnerability that becomes wisdom, or with the 9th house, or belief that is grounded in lived clarity, right? So it shows integration. It's like your soul understands what the ego once was resisting, basically. So overall, you are going through this movement of from force to alignment, from defense to vulnerability, from impulse to this embodied wisdom, right? And this is exactly the themes that the oracle touches on, which is how healing happens when you stop pushing and start trusting the rhythm, basically. Another important point that I haven't fully explored yet is we finished the reading on the 12th house with the Queen of Swords, and we also have a King of Swords in the 5th house. And we have the King of Swords, which which is all about mental mastery, structure, authority, strategic thinking, and the Queen of Swords, which is discernment, clarity, emotional intelligence, wisdom through experience, right? And they are respectively in the houses of creativity, joy, romance, self-expression, but also subconscious integration, karma, spiritual wisdom. So this shows that you have learned this lesson about boundaries and truth and clarity on a subconscious and spiritual level, right? It's something that you can keep with you forever, because it's really at a very basic and instinct like level, basically. And you are being able to apply this lesson, this discernment, to your creativity, to your romance, to your joy. So basically what this means is how you are now able to create and to love with boundaries, which are important, and in an intelligent way, not in an impulsive way, right? You have, or you will in 2026, master this idea of the archetype of the Queen of Swords, you know, how to follow and to trust your inner guidance, as well as the King archetype, which is how to express it outwardly. It's a it's how you can now pursue joy without the fear of losing yourself. Is the desire being mastered. For example, in romance, you might now be able to recognize healthy partners because of lessons that were learned through past heartbreak or reflection, right? Or in creativity or collective projects, they are now executed with strategy and discernment, not just with passion or impulse, right? So I think this is a good point to mention. And also one last point I would like to still bring up would be the first house with the 8th house, as it shows how healing is a full circle process. It's about understanding your heartbreak or your wounds in identity, how going through this process will allow you to stop defending yourself in intimacy and in shared power situations that can very quickly become about a power dynamic, and it can make us lose sight of what's actually the matter of the situation, right? It's like old trauma triggers, they no longer control behavior when it comes to relationships. Vulnerability becomes more of a tool for transformation rather than a risk, right? And also here with the star and on the 7th house and the 2 of cups in the 10th house, I also just want to highlight how healing and hope in relationships, they directly support alignment in your career and life purpose, right? It's like your partnerships this year, they are not just personal, but they will actually inform and reinforce your public and professional paths, right? So collaboration is key on your collective projects, right? 3 of Pentacles, collaboration is going to be key. What you nurture in your one-on-one dynamics, this will help you manifest purpose externally. So it's as if love and partnership, they are not separate from your vocation, they are just mirrors of it, if it's making sense. And yeah, your 6th and your 12th house as well, it shows healing through conscious adjustment, right? Understanding patterns at a higher level, which is your 12th house, right? Being able to see your patterns. This will help you redesign your daily life on your 6th house without forcing the outcome. It's going to be a natural redesignment redesigning of your routines of your life, of whatever you will understand that will better sustain you and support you. Basically, it's how you'll have the chance to see for yourself how alignment between your mind and your body and your intuition becomes the bridge for long-term healing, right? And last point really is between your second house with the Page of Swords and your 11th house with the Empress reversed. So it's about understanding your value and how this helps you choose the communities that nourish you rather than draining you. So we had seen this in connection to your sixth house, but the second house also informs how these boundaries are being internalized, right? How you are learning to protect your resources, both emotional and energetic, right? And this is about how this lesson and this learning that you are going through will reflect directly in your social dynamics as well. All right, Aries, I hope it was clear. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely wish you an amazing 2026, full of love and peace and joy and success, and everything that you might wish for. And yeah, I wish you a lovely year ahead. Wish you a lovely day. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.